If all of creation was birthed from a single perfect primordial light, by what mathematical and cosmic laws did man descend into the dense illusion of matter? This is mystic mechanics, the descent and the return.
This profound question, it is not some abstract, philosophical musing. It is the absolute, central mystery of your very existence. It is the dark, heavy enigma that governs literally every single breath you take within this dense, physical realm. To even begin to comprehend the sheer, devastating magnitude of our present condition, we have to look back. We have to meticulously deconstruct the esoteric atomic theory. You see, ancient frameworks, like the Book of Genesis, state that the very first creation was light. But you must understand this with absolute, uncompromising clarity. We are not talking about the light of the physical sun. The sun, the stars, the galaxies, they did not yet exist. This light was the supreme, unfathomable primal energy. It was the raw, unadulterated essence, the infinite root substance from which the entirety of the cosmos and every complex, heavy form within it was forged. It is the pure energy of omniity itself, moving silently through an incomprehensible great void.
So, you have to ask yourself, how does pure, formless light become the rigid, agonizingly heavy reality that we are trapped in today? The answer is found in the single most fundamental mechanical law of the universe, the law of vibration. Esoteric atomic theory dictates that literally everything in the cosmos is constructed from that exact same primordial substance. Nothing else exists. Therefore, the absolute, only difference between any two things in the known universe is strictly and entirely caused by the differing rates of vibration of this primal energy. The mathematical speed at which this energy fluctuates dictates the exact, precise form it takes. It's not magic. It is a cold, precise mechanical operation.
Now consider the great vibratory scale. It is a continuous, unbroken chain of descending energy. At the highest, most incomprehensible frequencies, we find the subtle forces, the cosmic rays, the unseen spiritual ethers. But as that mathematical rate of vibration begins to slow, as the energy loses its rapid, divine momentum, it begins a tragic, inevitable process of crystallization. The energy steps down into gases. It slows even further, coalescing into heavy liquids. And finally, at its absolute lowest, most sluggish vibratory rate, it freezes. It crystallizes into dense, solid matter. The physical world around you right now, the room you sit in, it is nothing more than divine light, trapped and vibrating at an agonizingly slow frequency.
But here is where the mechanics become deeply personal. This eternal law doesn't merely govern inanimate, physical objects. Consciousness itself, your very mind, your awareness, the absolute focal point of your existence, is vibratory. Human awareness is not some static, unchanging trait that you are simply born with. No, it is a highly volatile, energetic state that is constantly fluctuating. Every single thought you harbor, every dark fear you entertain, every fleeting moment of profound realization forces a microscopic shift in your internal vibratory rate. You are constantly rising and falling in frequency. You are tethered entirely to the nature of your internal focus.
Contrast the stark, unforgiving density of physical matter with the subtle, fluid density of human consciousness. Look at the mechanics of it. While physical matter relies on dense atomic cohesion just to maintain its solid, frozen form, human consciousness exists as a fluctuating awareness. And these inner, invisible fluctuations, they have direct, undeniable physical manifestations. The subtle energy field surrounding the human body, the aura, it literally slides up and down the light spectrum. It darkens into murky, muddy hues during moments of low, base, earthly thought. But it illuminates into brilliant, blinding clarity when the mind is actively tensed upwards, reaching toward the divine.
Armed with this highly technical, mechanical understanding, we have to entirely discard the superficial, childish allegories of the uninitiated. The fall of man is not some vindictive, arbitrary punishment handed down by an angry religious deity. Absolutely not. It is a tragic, absolute, and purely mathematical lowering of vibrationary rates. It was a catastrophic, energetic event. Mankind literally fell in consciousness. As our collective vibrationary rate plummeted, humanity descended, mechanically and inevitably, into this dense illusion of matter. We put on the coats of skin. We sank into the deep forest of errors, becoming utterly exiled from the pure light, trapped inside a realm of slow, suffocating density.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. By what mechanics, then, does the conscious entity navigate the long, arduous path of return to the first estate?
The answer to that profound mystery lies hidden within ancient, highly guarded frameworks. We call it esotericism. The word itself is derived from the ancient Greek eso, which simply means inside or within. But it is so much more than a word. It is the mystery tradition. It is the profound internal teaching deliberately designed to show exiled man his true divine origin, his ultimate destination, and the precise mechanical purpose of his agonizing existence in this dense reality. Esotericism is the hidden blueprint required to reverse the fall. It is the exact science of conscious reintegration with the primordial light.
Within this hidden internal blueprint, there exist two highly distinct vehicles. Two primary mechanical methods by which the seeker may actively shift their vibratory rate and begin the monumental ascent out of the dense physical illusion. We must deeply analyze these two paths, initiation and mysticism. Make no mistake, they are entirely different mechanics, yet they both serve the exact same ultimate purpose of energetic elevation.
Let us first examine initiation. The term is derived from the Latin initium, meaning the beginning. In the esoteric tradition, it is defined strictly as the active, royal art of the seeker. Initiation is not passive. It is a path of unrelenting, brutal labor. It requires you, the seeker, to view yourself as a rough, untrimmed stone that must be meticulously and forcefully ground down into a shining, perfect crystal. It is an active, deliberate exertion of the human will. It is a forceful upward tension. You must actively tune your inner string, violently clearing away the dense earthly rubbish of fear and ignorance, just so that you might strike a higher vibratory resonance and harmonize with the transcendent forces above.
In stark, almost complete contrast, stands the path of mysticism. This word is derived from the ancient Greek myein, which translates to closing the eyes. This is the passive path of grace. It stands in total, diametric opposition to the active, forceful, grinding approach of initiation. Mysticism is a profound, silent looking inward. It is a complete withdrawal from the heavy, chaotic, sensory illusions of the exterior physical world. It is the careful cultivation of an absolute, deep internal quietude, allowing the divine spark, buried within the mathematical center of the microcosm, the jewel in the lotus, to slowly radiate outward and gently, naturally elevate the seeker's vibratory consciousness.
But regardless of the path chosen, whether it be the active royal art or the passive path of grace, the cosmic laws governing this ascent remain entirely fixed. And these absolute laws communicate through the book of nature. You must understand right now that mystical symbols are never ever arbitrary drawings. They're not human inventions or artistic expressions. They are the sacred, precise, geometric representations of immutable, eternal, universal laws. The universe communicates its raw structural mechanics through these symbols, prefiguring the unseen dimensions of the higher worlds. To learn to read these symbols is to read the very blueprints of existence itself.
So we begin with the single most fundamental symbol of all reality, the dot. Number 1. This is the ultimate, abstract symbol for omniscient, for God, for the absolute. The simple dot represents amorphous, entirely unformed potentiality. It is the common point of emanation from which the entire cosmos violently expands outward. It is absolutely critical to grasp this paradox. This singular geometric point is both totally transcendent, existing above all physical manifestation, and yet it is utterly immanent, residing deep within the exact center of every single vibrating atom of the manifested universe.
The dot is the absolute beginning. But here lies the supreme, agonizing tragedy of the human condition. Because of the mechanical fall, because our collective vibratory rate has plunged so deeply into the suffocating depths of heavy matter, we have lost all conscious contact with this primary root source. We wander aimlessly in a dense illusion of diversity and separation. The absolute source cannot be consciously known. It simply cannot be intellectually defined by the heavy, dense, slow vibrating mind, until we do the arduous, unrelenting work of actively elevating our resonance and returning our consciousness to that precise point of origin.
As the seeker's consciousness slowly begins to rise, it inevitably encounters the sacred geometry of balance, number 6. Depicted universally as Solomon's seal, the interlaced triangles, this symbol denotes a highly profound mechanical event. It represents the balanced interpenetration of the dense physical planes and the subtle, higher astral realms. It is the precise mathematical point of equilibrium, where the descending, heavy forces of spirit perfectly meet the ascending, evolving consciousness of man. It is the interlocking of the higher and lower worlds,
a necessary, unavoidable threshold on the cosmic path of return.
And finally, this grueling progression leads to the ultimate perfection of form, the circle. Number 10. The deckhead. In esoteric mathematics, the numerical series from 1 to 10 marks the absolute, final completion of a cosmic cycle. The circle symbolizes the ultimate reabsorption into the absolute. It represents the cessation of the agonizing, repetitive wheel of birth and death within these lower, dense realms. It is the total dissolution of the false, lower self into the infinite, vibrating whole.
When we combine these absolute fundamental truths, we arrive at the point within the circle. This stands as the ultimate, supreme, mystical symbol for that which has absolutely neither beginning nor end. It reveals the awe-inspiring cosmic reality that the 10th stage, the ultimate completion of one agonizing cycle of material existence, always stands as the first, initial step of the next infinite cycle in a much higher plane. There is no final death. There is only an eternal, relentless upward progression out of the dense illusion, driven entirely by the unforgiving laws of cosmic vibration.
The symbols are the blueprints. The mechanics are eternal. Your return to the light is a matter of law, not of chance.